Good morning. Welcome to our Thankful Thursday, our last Thankful Thursday of this live transmission series 3. Let's start our morning with a peak state programming, our power of dreams. Let's manifest. Awesome. So we've been studying about letting go, another 3-4 days left of our series and of letting go. And today we've reached the 19th chapter. Let's see what the magic will unfold and how all of us can come around and understand how it's helped us in our health, it's helped us in our wealth, it's helped us in our abundance, it's helped us in our happiness, and how all our goals can come true once we start letting go. Even relationships, yesterday we talked about the power of relationships, that how if we stop having expectation, if we let people be, we nurture them for who they are rather than what we want from them, life's going to become so much better. Very important for all of us to understand that. So chapter 19, today it's about achievement of vocational goals. Feelings and abilities. Our thoughts determine the extent to which we manifest our talents and abilities, and they set the quality and quantity of our successes and failures. But what is it that determines and influences the direction of our thoughts? As we have seen, it is our feelings that determine that produce the kind of thinking that will lead us to success or failure in any endeavor. Feelings are the key to the expansion or constriction of our talents, abilities, and actions. हम लोग बोलते कुछ हैं manifest करने के लिए मुंह से, but जो हम actual feel करते हैं ना, that comes true. Very, very important to understand that feelings are of paramount importance. Feelings have to be corrected. Feelings के लिए either we fake it till we make it, or we only think of how it feels when the dream has come true, and we imagine ourselves there so that we can attract those vibrations, that frequency. Generally, we are knowledgeable and well-trained in matters pertaining to the outer world. Yet we are sometimes knowledgeable and untrained in the inner world, the world of feelings. Because feelings determine thoughts, and the thoughts we hold in mind determines outcomes. It is important to clarify the relationship between our feelings and the freeing of our ability so that they result in successful action. To summarize what we have said about the scale of consciousness, and to make it simple, we can briefly categorize all feelings as either negative or positive feelings. It's as simple as that. Our feelings are only negative or positive, and our feelings lead to thoughts. Our thoughts lead to action, and our action is manifestation or whatever we're doing physically. If there are positive thoughts, positive action will come. If there are negative thoughts, negative action will come. It's very simple. Now, how do we have negative feelings related to work, and how does it affect us? Let's understand. Negative feelings related to work. These feelings are always unpleasant and range from mildly uncomfortable to painful. They instigate the process of thinking and ideation that leads to I can't and we can't, regardless of the event, situation, or problems in which the person is involved. Negative feelings arise when we dislike what we see, we hear, we think, or we remember. Our reaction to disliking comes in the form of such feelings as anger, grief, anxiety. Our usual way of dealing with unpleasant feelings is to suppress them. And because of this, we assume that these feelings are part and parcel of the thinking process. Now, this is an error. हम सोचते हैं कि हमने अपने इमोशन को दबा दिया, लेट गो कर दिया, इन द सेंस फॉरगिव कर दिया, व्हिच इज ग्रेट, बट हमने इसको दबा दिया, लाइक फॉरगिव करने की जगह हमने दबा दिया, हमने इसको वी आर नॉट अलाउड by ourselves to feel what we are feeling. नहीं, मुझे ये फील नहीं होना चाहिए, नहीं नहीं, this is not right. हम अपने आप को रोकते हैं, सप्रेस करते हैं, नहीं ये सही नहीं है, वो आई कांट सी दिस, नो नो दिस इज नॉट राइट. हम सप्रेस करते हैं एंड हम सोचते हैं कि अब हमने ये सोचने का प्रोसेस है, हमने इसको बंद कर दिया फीलिंग को, तो अब तो सब बढ़िया होने वाला है. लेकिन दैट्स फार फ्रॉम द ट्रूथ. दैट्स द बिगेस्ट एरर. दबाना नहीं है, लेट गो करना है. दोनों में बहुत अंतर है. Suppressing these feelings does not make them disappear. On the contrary, they will re-emerge as negative thoughts. Negativity does not exist within a situation or event. Rather, it resides in a reaction to the situation as we see it. Please read the word. There is no response. The word mentioned is reaction. जब negativity आती है, 99.9% हम react करते हैं, हम respond नहीं करते. हम बहुत अवेयर हो जाते हैं, so we will start responding. Okay, so now when negative feelings are acknowledged and relinquished, the situation can rapidly change in appearance from impossible to easily manageable, workable, and even quite useful. Akshay, please take it from here. Thank you.
One of the most prominent negative feelings that blocks success in professional life is that of envy. The underlying dynamic of envy is that when we see someone else ahead, this triggers our own sense of insecurity. It's not simply that we see the other person's achievement and feel envy. Rather, the other person's achievement triggers in us a feeling of
Just
lack
one
or
second.
inadequacy
Can everyone
about
hear Akshay
ourselves.
well, or is it cracked? Can someone tell me in the chat box? I don't know why Akshay's voice for me is completely breaking up. For others, can you hear them normal? It could be my net connection. So just want a quick check. Meenakshi, it's echo. It's clear? Okay, great. Cracking? Oh, Vijayji is cracking. Okay, so
I'll
Akshay,
try
let me
again.
okay, so let me change. Can you change the connection? Is that a possibility?
No, that's not possible. Actually, I'm not at home today.
Oh, you're not at home. That's why. Yeah, it happens. Okay,
Let
let's
me try
try.
once again.
Okay. So I think it's cracking. So let me just retake it from here. I just
Okay.
Anybody else, if they want to volunteer, please let me know. That's fine. So I'm going to restart. One of the most prominent negative feelings that block success in professional life is that of envy. The underlying dynamic of envy is that when we see someone else getting ahead, this triggers our own sense of insecurity. It's not simply that we see the other person's achievements and feel envy. Rather, the other person's achievements triggers in us a feeling of lack or inadequacy about ourselves. जब लोग हमसे बेटर करते हैं, हमें लगता है अरे हम तो नहीं कर पाए, इसने तो कर लिया. Now that triggers a feeling of envy. It triggers a feeling of just not being good enough. It triggers a feeling of maybe I'm not accomplishing what I should be accomplishing. Maybe I won't be accomplishing what I should be, or I want to, or I can't. Because it's not appreciated, because I can't do it. I'm always unnoticed. Very, very important to understand this. Richa, yes, please. Envy is painful.
Envy is painful because it arouses our own sense of inadequacy, and then we often resent the person whose successes have inadvertently provoked this feeling. Unconsciously, this resentment fuels our endless desire for strokes, which of course do not come out way because our wantingness repels the very thing we want. As the cycle progresses, we feel increasingly dissatisfied and unhappy in our job and alienated from our colleagues. There may be the belief everyone is against me. Our family members may grow weary of our constant complaints about the situation at work. We may seek escape at the end of the day through endless television and overindulgence in food, sleep, drugs, and alcohol.
Very
What's the way
important to
out of this?
understand this. 1 second. जब envy आती है, envy के साथ एक feeling आती है helplessness की. जब helplessness की आती है, इसका मतलब हमारे we need something. We're just feeling so helpless. We need something. There's a vacuum in us because things are not perfect, right? You want something and you can't have it. So you're feeling, oh my God, I can't do it. Is bechargi, is helplessness mein what's happening? Either we get into some kind of binging. Some people get hooked onto television. Some people start eating too much. Some people sleep endlessly. Some people pick up drugs and alcohol because कुछ कमी है उसको पूरा करने के लिए हम ही ले रहे हैं. Understand one thing. In life, anybody who's an alcoholic, druggie, or any binger, he or she has some kami. And that उस कमी को पूरा करने के लिए वो ये सब चीजें कर रहे हैं. अगर आप कभी कर रहे हो, कभी आज चलता है अपने आप को परमिशन देना, अगर रिपीटेड कर रहे हो, so look within कि where am I feeling incomplete? ऐसा क्या है जो मुझे ये सब चीजें करवा रहा है? Can I find a way out? Always self question. Always seek an answer from your higher self for you, and you will find an answer. Now, what's the best way of out of this cycle of envy and dissatisfaction? As you've said before, the answer is to go within. With envy, we're constantly looking at others, evaluating their accomplishments, comparing ourselves to them. We see the cost of this looking out towards them in the movie Chariots of Fire, or Chariots of Fire, when one of the runners turned to see where his opponent was in the race. The moment he took his eyes off the finish line to compare himself with another runner, he lost that split second, which cost him the whole race. The man who won the case was motivated by the sheer love of running and do his best. He didn't run to beat another. He didn't compare himself to other runners. He ran his best because he loved to run. So very important to understand this. Let's continue, Richa.
When we look within ourselves, we see what the underlying feeling are that prevent our success. Competitiveness, self-doubt, insecurity, inadequacy, and desire for approval. Are we willing to look at these feelings? Once our feelings are recognized, it becomes obvious to us that they work against us. They drain our efforts and impede our success in the world. Our self-doubt blocks the very recognition we seek. Once we see the cost of negative feelings to our happiness and success, we will become willing to let go of them and the payoffs we get from them. For example, we become willing to let go of cheap little satisfaction we get from blaming others for our lack of success. We become willing to let go of sympathetic we garner from those who listen our
wait. जब नेगेटिविटी आती है, नेगेटिविटी के साथ ब्रूडिंग आएगा, ब्रूडिंग, कंप्लेनिंग, क्रिटिसिज्म, एंड आपकी फैमिली और लोग आप परेशान हो जाएंगे, आप में कुछ कमी है, सो आप नेगेटिव करोगे, ब्लेम गेम प्ले करोगे. Now, the minute we are willing to let go of the cheap satisfaction of blaming others for our lack of success, and we let go of the sympathy we garner from those who listen to our complaints, कि अरे कोई सुनने को मिल जाए, कोई sympathize कर ले, हाय बेचारी में, somebody should be there. जब मैं इस feeling को ही छोड़ दूं कि मुझे कोई क्यों मिल जाए, I'm not inadequate, I'm not less than anybody, ये नहीं हुआ for reason नहीं हुआ. I have an intention and this will come true. आज नहीं कल हो जाएगा. It's all right. Let me delight in my own journey. Let me see how far I've come. Let me see I also matter. I have had boundless energy. मैं ये नहीं accomplish किया, कुछ और तो बहुत कुछ करा है. And when I gloat and I bask in the attention of what I've done previously, I'm attracting the same vibes for this particular chapter that I want to study and excel in my life. Get that very clearly. Our feelings matter. So rather than feeling low and down and out, we go within, we ask ourselves a question, and we look at something that we've achieved before to get those feelings. Let me tell you one thing. We should be very, very careful. And by now, all of us are aware, completely aware of this, that never to expand negativity. Never, never, never. You want a listening person? If the person is spiritual, fabulous. Like with me, I'm so blessed that, whenever I go in that negative feeling zone, whenever, my husband quickly corrects me. No, why are you saying that? Say this, na. Quickly, it's an auto-correction. So it's very important for us to find somebody like that. So kabhi feel kar bhi rahe ho, even if the person is not your partner, doesn't matter. Call up that person. This is what I'm feeling. No harm. At least immediately correction ho jayega. Now let's talk about positive feelings related to work. Rhea Richa.
When we let go of our feelings in adequacy, we will find the
We are
uh
positive feelings related to work. There are always. Last 285,
okay.
the bold.
Yes, yes. Positive feelings related to work. These are always felt as pleasant and include such feelings such as joy, happiness, and security. They instigate a process of thinking and ideation that is exemplified by the thoughts I can and we can, regardless of the event, situation, or problem in which the person is involved. Positive feelings flow naturally when negative feelings are not in action. Nothing needs to be done to acquire positive feelings. As they are part and parcel of our natural state, this positive inner state is always there, and it is merely covered by suppressed negative feelings. When the clouds are removed, the sun shines forth. The freeing up of abilities, creative ideas, talents, and resourcefulness occur automatically as a result of the positive state of mind that ensure when negative aspects have been surrendered. Let go of negativity frees up inspiration to create an endless flow of creative ideas. For example, there was a case of a producer of an award winning Broadway musical who attributed the success of the hit shows to the letting go of negative feelings through the mechanism of surrender. There have been writers, artists, and musicians who came into sudden breakthrough of inspiration as soon as negative belief or self limitation was recognized and surrendered. The same experience has been recounted by scientists who suddenly just knew the formula that would cure a disease. It is as if the energy field of creative genius is available and waiting for us as soon as we surrender the clouds of negativity that prevent its revelation to us.
So what will get revealed जब हम एक layer गंदी layer निकाल देंगे नीचे से अच्छा दिखेगा. Your diamonds, when they get dirty, you wash them and they start shining. When clouds are एकदम से काले बादल हटते हैं, you see the sun shining. This is exactly what happens with all of us. जब हम let go कर देते हैं सोचने का कि we need to be dependent, we need to blame somebody, we need to have sympathy, we need to, कि मैं नहीं कर पाया, somebody should be there to back me up, to back me up, to tell me that okay, fine, it's okay. जब मैं let go करता हूँ इस particular एहसास का, and I say it's okay. Let me let go of this need, and immediately when I think कि मेरा संकल्प है, मेरी intention है to do this, doors and windows will open up, opportunities will start coming up because your creativity is unleashed. Get back on action. Anytime you have negative feelings, you are the only one who can come out of it. Nobody else in the world can help you there except you. Yes, who can help you are the spiritual people. Yes, who can help you are these self-help books that they put you back on track whenever you go off track. But ultimately, it's you, right? We come here, we listen to everything, and we don't implement them, nothing will happen. If you want to increase your energy field, if you really want to tap into this, which is already around us, firstly, let's understand energy is what we are, energy is what is all around. How much we want to tap into it depends completely upon us. You want to tap into good energy, it's available. Bad energy, it's available. What do you want to do? Let's talk about the next section, feelings and the decision-making process. Yes, please.
We simplify the levels of consciousness into three major states: inert, energetic, and peaceful. These three states are related to the decision making process. The first state, inertia, is reflective of the emotional levels of apathy, grief, and fear. The nature of these feelings is to interfere with our concentration on the situation at hand and engage us instead in concentration on our own thoughts, most of which are in a realm of I don't know, I'm not sure, and I don't think I can. This successive concentration of our own uselessly cycling thoughts render us temporarily unable to perceive the full dimension and possibilities of the overall situation at hand.
Okay.
While
Cyclical thoughts होती हैं, बार बार आती हैं. I can't. I don't think I can. Can I? Procrastination. Can I do it? ये टेम्पररी हमको लाइक नेगेटिव फीलिंग्स में ले आती है, जहां हमें लगता है कि अरे पता नहीं कुछ हो सकता है कि नहीं। बट अगर इसमें इमीडिएटली हमारा करेक्शन हो गया, आई कैन, which means we've elevated ourselves into one dimension जहां इतनी possibilities है, इतनी help मिलती है, we are able to tap into the good energy. So again, हमारी thoughts कहाँ जा रहे हैं? Please see your thoughts. Please see them. And more than thoughts, your feelings. What are you feeling? Always try and ask yourself, what are you feeling? And कभी जवाब नहीं मिले, keep your hand on your heart. Just close your eyes for 2 minutes and just ask yourself the question. What am I feeling regarding this? अपने आप जवाब आएगा. आपको 3 deep breath लेना है, center balance align होना है, तो fabulous. बिना उसके भी आएगा. So this is very, very important to understand us. Yes, let's continue.
While these negative thoughts and feelings are flowing, it is difficult for us to arrive at any decision. Sometimes we opt to stall the decision until we feel better. At other times, we proceed to arrive at a decision that we think will answer our questions or take care of a situation. Unfortunately, the decision that result in not sustainable in the long run because it is based on the feeling state. And when the feeling state changes, the decision has to be changed with it. This leads to inner insecurity, ambivalence, confusions, and loss of confidence in us and by those around us. In the computer language of garbage in and garbage out. The negative feeling state is a garbage in, and the decision that comes out of it must be on the same level.
Let's understand. The first feeling is about what? Can someone tell me? The first feeling is about what? There are 3 types of feelings that we're now going to talk about. एक होता है procrastination, stalling. I'm going to think, I'm going to do, कि ये होगा कि नहीं, चलेगा कि नहीं, मुझे करना चाहिए कि नहीं. इससे क्या होता है? Inner insecurity, शायद मैं secure नहीं हूँ, शायद मैं ambivalent हूँ, शायद मैं confused हूँ, शायद मुझ में confidence नहीं कुछ करने का. तो मैं I keep stalling. And जो से decisions मेरे आते हैं, वो भी उस stalling वाले ही आते हैं because मैं indecisive हूँ, मैं sure ही नहीं हूँ. Second stage क्या है? It's higher than inertia. Inertia is when you want to take off, but you're unable to take off. So you're right here. Second stage, you're energetic. Now remember, the word energetic has energy in it. Let's read further.
The second state, which is higher than inertia, is that of being energetic. The emotion underlying these states are those of desire, anger, and pride. The nature of these feelings is to interfere less with concentration than the previous lower state because some positive thoughts are allowed to flow through and mix with the negative feeling. This is the state of go-getter. Although things are accomplished, there is an unevenness of performance because of the mixture of positive and negative thoughts and ideas. Negative feelings such as ambition, desire, or proving oneself tend to drive the go-getter, and the times decision making is compulsive or impulsive.
Okay. Now understand this one. Second stage जो हमारी है.
Characteristic of this level of consciousness is personal self-gain as the primary motive.
Wait, Richa, just wait, please. So for second stage हमारी जो है, above inertia is energetic. Now the emotions underlying the state are those of desire. I want to do this. या anger कि शायद मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगा, या ego. लोग क्या बोलेंगे, मेरा हुआ कि नहीं हुआ. ये इंटरफियर लेस करती है कंसंट्रेशन से जो लोअर्स है, लेकिन यहाँ अलाउ कर दिया है फीलिंग्स को मिक्स करने के लिए जो नेगेटिव फीलिंग्स हैं. अब जो ये स्टेट होती गो गेटर्स के लिए, जो हर समय आई नो आई एम अ गो गेटर, आई कैन अकम्प्लिश व्हाटएवर आई वांट. नाउ दे आर गोइंग टू बी परफॉर्मिंग बिग टाइम बिकॉज दे हैव मोर ऑफ पॉजिटिव स्टफ. थोड़े नेगेटिव भी आएंगे, लेकिन पॉजिटिव स्टफ ज्यादा आएगा गो गेटर्स में. एक आ जाएंगे रिडंडेंट पीपल. Negative feelings such as ambition, desire, proving oneself tend to drive the go-getter, and at times the decision making is compulsive or impulsive. Now go-getter को ये कि करना तो है ही, ऐसे या वैसे करना तो है ही. अब करना तो है ही के लिए कई बार random, irrational, not so good decisions लिए जाते हैं. बस compulsively ले लिए, impulsive तुरंत ले लिए, and that is in itself a deterrent. So let's understand further. Characteristic of this level of consciousness is personal self-gain as a primary motivating factor. Therefore, many of the decisions are unsustainable because they have been taken impulsively or compulsively. They have been based on a win-lose situation rather than on a win-win situation. A win-win situation should have been or would have occurred had the feelings and welfare of the other persons involved in the situation had been taken into account. Understand this line again very, very clearly. Whenever we manifest, we always say, this or something highest better may unfold for my and the highest best of others around. हम कभी नहीं बोलते कि मेरे हाईएस्ट बेस्ट के लिए जो हो वो अनफोल्ड करे. सपोज मेरा बेस्ट जो है दैट इज नॉट द बेस्ट फॉर अक्षय हु आई लिव विद. Suppose if he's a sibling of mine and whatever I want right now is not going to make him better. It's a family business, for example. Then what? इसीलिए welfare of others has to be in your priority list. Self love is amazing, being go getter is amazing, but keeping सबको साथ में लेके चलो, right? Now सबको साथ में लेके चलना उतना easy नहीं होता. That's fine, but intention में अगर सबको साथ में लेके चला, that's also pretty much work done. Your intention is powerful. So if your intention says that I want to work with everyone around and let them come around, that will become true. So that's what you're radiating. Now, using language related to body's energy center, we say that people on this level are motivated by solar plexus chakra. That's a third chakra. It's immediately below our heart, right above our navel, right? Just a couple of inches above our navel. This solar plexus chakra is a city of dreams, जहाँ सारे हमारे सपने आते हैं, right? This means that people who are in this zone are seeking to attain success and master the world. But they are self-centered and driven by personal motives with little concern for the welfare of others or of the world in general. Because their decisions benefit primarily themselves and success is limited to personal gain. Any benefit to the world is purely secondary and the result therefore falls far short of greatness. Now, the third and the highest level is the most beautiful level, which all of us can easily attain and go on there. It is of being in a peaceful state. This is based on the feelings of courage. ये मैं कर सकता हूँ. And जैसे जो है सब ठीक है, it's fine. I can change myself, and उससे मेरे atmosphere बदल जाएगा, मेरी surrounding, मेरा environment बदल जाएगा. I accept it, and all I give is love, love, love. कल हमने chapter में पढ़ा था, if you remember. Somebody was trying to be a whistleblower or trying to be a irritating person, but the person realized that वो तो lack of love हो रहा है, उसको तो insecurity. Okay, let me give him love. Let me give him, and तुरंत वो vibration travel करी, and decision बदल गया. So this is what all of us will give: lots of love, lots of courage, lots of acceptance. Now these feelings are purely positive and they're non-disturbing in their very nature. They allow us to concentrate completely on the situation and observe all the relevant details. अब इस सिचुएशन में जो हम पीसफुल हैं, सब चीजों को हम ध्यान से देखेंगे, because now we are driven by what? We're driven by love. तो अब सेल्फ लव नहीं है. सेल्फ लव इज ग्रेट, बट हम दूसरों का भी अच्छा हित देख रहे हैं. तो अब हम observant रहेंगे and every little thing will be seen. Now we are allowing ourselves to concentrate completely in the situation, observe all the relevant details, along with achieving an inner state of peace. Now here is where inspiration brings forth ideas that solve the problem. अब जब हम peaceful हैं, accepting mode में हैं, and love की mode में हैं, अपने आप ideas आएंगे, अपने आप चीजें आएंगी, अपने आप help आएगी, अपने आप आगे जाएगा, because now mind is free of worry, and its ability to communicate and concentrate is unimpeded. अब आराम से हम जो चाहें कर सकते हैं, because it's not going to come in as a obstacle, no boulder. Now, from this state come solutions to problems that are placed in a win-win context. Because everyone benefits, everyone lends the energy to the project, and success is shared by all. Now, if again, same example, if Akshay and I am siblings, now if I say, okay, this is what I want, okay, this is good for me, but it's good for a joint company project. It's good for him also, उसको भी फायदा होगा. ये नहीं कि सिर्फ मुझे ही profit मिलेगा. My brother will also share the profit with me. Now what's going to happen? Now I'm in a state of peace कि मैं cheat नहीं कर रही. I'm being truthful. I'm making him grow, making myself grow, and I'm not worrying now because मुझे पता है सबका हित होने वाला है. Now इसमें solutions बहुत अच्छे से मिलते हैं. इसमें positive solutions मिलते हैं. You're always a winner here because you're driven by love. This approach not infrequently leads to greatness. It characterizes noble projects that bring about far-reaching improvements in our society. On this level, we discover that when everyone's needs in a situations are met, Our own needs are fully fulfilled automatically. The unimpeded creative mind will therefore work in full harmony, will be always the right one to find out a right solution where everyone gains and no one loses. Now, if you look at the situation and claim that a win-win situation is not possible, that should warn us that we are having some unsurrendered inner feelings, blocking a possibly perfect solution. We need to remember the dictum that the impossible becomes possible as soon as we totally surrendered to the situation. Again, get this very clear. थोड़ी सी भी रुकावट है ना, थोड़ी सी भी. That means कुछ तो है जो block कर रहा है. Again, I go inward. Again, I find वो क्या है छोटी सी चीज. अभी perfection के तरफ हम जा रहे हैं, लेकिन something is stopping me. So again, I take a question check, a reality check in myself. Next are our feelings and sales ability. Let's talk it. In as much as selling is a part of many vocations, involving either product or ideas or a personal services, it is rewarding to look at the relationship between three basic levels of consciousness and sales ability itself. Now, the lowest or inertia state is governed by feelings or apathy, grief, and fear. It is obvious that sales ability is at its lowest. Salespersons state are often told by prospects they are not interested in the project right now. This leads immediately to negative thinking and self-criticism, with thoughts such as, they don't want my product. The very nature of sales activity exposes salespersons to rejection and disappointment. They may temporarily escape these feelings by taking coffee breaks or indulging in personal conversation with other employees. However, their feelings have impaired their concentration and diminished their ability to create resourceful ideas. The low self-esteem creates vulnerability or discouragement, which in turn creates expectations of failure. Now, when thoughts of failure are held in mind, failure is precipitated in the sales situation. At this point, by acknowledging the negative feelings the salesperson is having, what do? We simply let go of the payoff from each of them. A person can evolve to the next level. 90% boss ने बोला है, जो भी करना है तेरे को इतना तो टारगेट है, तेरा बेचना ही बेचना, नहीं करेगा तो जॉब से बाहर निकाल दूंगा. डर, फियर, मैं नहीं बेच पाया तो, जॉब से निकल गया तो. अब जब मैं ऐसा फील कर रहा हूं तो ऑटोमेटिकली वो सिचुएशंस आ रहे हैं. तो आई हैव टू लेट गो ऑफ द फियर बाय सिंपली सेइंग आई एम डूइंग माय बेस्ट. जो मेरा प्रोडक्ट बेचेंगे मुझे भी फायदा होगा, कंपनी को भी फायदा होगा, और जो लेगा उसको भी फायदा होगा. Immediately I shift my energy level. The next level, the energetic level, is based on feelings of desire, anger, and pride. Includes a great degree of vigor and drive. This facilitates better concentration of the work goal. However, because the feelings are somewhat driven, they may be excessive verbalization, with more time spent talking to sales prospects and listening to them. This may typically lead to premature closings, pushing too hard, and creating marketing problems. Nonetheless, achievement of sales goals is possible on this level because of these higher energies invoked. One block to success on this level is the focus on self-gain. मैं बेचूंगा तो मेरा profit आएगा. If I win, they lose. If I win, I'm going to be the star seller and मेरी company में बाकी लोग नहीं आएंगे. So I am the winner and they are less performer. This self-seeking motive intuitively picked up by the sales prospects and they may resist. The thoughts characteristics of this level are along the lines of, I want to get them to buy it, so I'll get a good commission. जब इतने self-centered रहते हैं हम, so फायदा कम होता है. Why? हाँ, कई बार हो भी जाएगा. But क्यों कम होता है? क्योंकि I, me and am से ऑपरेट करें, small I से ऑपरेट करें. कहाँ पहुंचना है? Big I. What is a big I? Love, light. तेरा मंगल, मेरा मंगल, सबका मंगल हो वे. When we talk about this attitude, we are in the highest and the most peaceful level, based upon the feelings of courage, acceptance, love. Our ability to concentrate is at its highest. Salespeople on this level are able to listen carefully to the other person and place the sale in a context which is beneficial to the buyer rather than the seller. Because the mind is peaceful, creative. They're never at a loss for creative ideas as to what will produce sales or what will turn problems into solutions. The person on this level often converts customers to friends, and the customers tend to become loyal. Achievement of sales goal on this level is assured, but because what is being held in the mind is a positive situation of win-win, and the inner situation with the win-win solution can be created in this situation. So again, if our energy is high, we are high. Often surrendering to what appears to be an impossible situation quickly turns into a positive experience, which is exemplified by this case of someone who has been working in an art gallery. Sales were slow. She hadn't made a sale in a week. She tried a number of consciousness techniques with herself and worked very hard at it. Remember the word? She worked very hard at it, which means sometimes all of us have to work hard, but it should become effortless if we are using consciousness techniques. You know, I don't have to work hard. They just come. Okay, this is what I have to do. She utilized visualization, positive thinking, advanced sales techniques, and written affirmations. However, nothing came of it. Her frustration mounted progressively, with the accompanying feelings, I can't. Finally, in desperation, she just let go completely and surrendered all of her pent up feelings. Inside of herself, she suddenly felt free of all the efforting, trying, and striving. The inner tension disappeared, and instead, she felt at peace as she went to work that morning at the gallery. Within the first hour at work, she sold 2 copies of a sculpture, which interestingly enough was titled Letting Go. So how beautiful, right? अगर आप बहुत हार्ड ट्राई कर रहे हो तो भी आप अगेंस्ट मदर नेचर का लॉ जा रहे हो. क्यों? क्योंकि एवरीथिंग इन लाइफ शुड बिकम एफर्टलेस. मनी आना एफर्टलेस, काम करना एफर्टलेस. जहां ज्यादा एफर्ट करा मतलब रेजिस्टेंस है, तो रेजिस्टेंस नहीं लेना है. अगर रेजिस्टेंस आ रहा है, आस्क योरसेल्फ, क्या है जो मुझे रेजिस्ट कर रहा है? बिकॉज आई वांट टू बिकम इजी. Good things and operating out of love and light should be automatic pilot feelings, अपने आप हो जाना चाहिए. Effort नहीं होना चाहिए. Now this lady did so beautifully just when she realized कि अरे मैं ये सब करने वाली हूँ, मैं creative visualization कर रही हूँ, मैं positive thinking कर रही हूँ, मैं manifestation कर रही हूँ, मैं affirmation लिख रही हूँ, फिर भी नहीं हो रहा, अरे मुझसे तो नहीं होता. There's a very thin line between desperation, frustration, and surrender. This is the time to realize, oh my God, मैं क्या सोच रहा हूँ? I can't? Really? Oh, इसका मतलब I have to let go. Okay, let me let go of whatever I'm holding on, because this is not right. This is coming from small I, ego. So I let go. And then you find the magic. Now letting go, you will realize, will come comparatively much easier because that's how you're supposed to. And the executives of a number of companies have documented similar breakthroughs. For instance, a partner in one of the country's most prestigious accounting firms, after experiencing success with inner surrender, eventually left the firm in order to share with others what he considered to be the most beneficial thing he had encountered in his life. He wanted to introduce the approach to a number of large corporations. He cited the outcome in one of the largest insurance companies in America. His study found out that within 6 months of learning the technique, the insurance agents increased by 33% over a control group. He concluded success in the world is related to our ability to concentrate, which means the ability to keep our attention on one thing at a time without interference of other thoughts and feelings is powerful. One thing at one time. Let's work on that diligently, come what may. A mind that is concentrated on a positive thought has a power to increase the likelihood that the positive thoughts will materialize in the world of events. The most successful people in the world are those who hold in mind the highest good of all concerned, including themselves. आपको परमात्मा धर्मात्मा नहीं बनना है, कि धर्म पुरुष नहीं बनना है, सबका मंगल हो, मेरा तो नहीं हो. नहीं, अपने आप का सेल्फ लव करना है, पॉजिटिव थॉट रखनी है कि अरे सब अच्छा होगा, बहुत अच्छा होगा, मेरे लिए भी, उसके लिए भी, सबके लिए बहुत अच्छा होगा. They know that there is a win-win solution to every problem. They are at peace with themselves, which allows them to be supportive with potential success of others. अगर मेरा अच्छा होगा, उसका अच्छा होगा, सबका अच्छा होगा, तो उसमें एक खासियत है, आई मी नाम की बात नहीं है. उसमें खासियत है, उसको भी काम करवाओ, बिकॉज वो बहुत अच्छा कर लेगा. दूसरों सक्सेस में दूसरे की एडवांटेज में, उसके एटीट्यूड्स में, उसकी वर्च्यूज में, उसकी अच्छी क्वालिटीज में आई विल टेक प्राइड कि अरे इस बंदे में बहुत बढ़िया है, ही शुड वर्क विद मी. इट्स नॉट लाइक अरे मुझ में ही कमी है, उसमें ज्यादा नहीं. जब मैं सपोर्टिव रहूंगा उसके सक्सेस के लिए, उसकी पोटेंशियल के लिए, ऑटोमेटिकली वो भी इतना अच्छा काम करेगा बिकॉज मैं इसको एनकरेज करूंगी. उससे ईर्ष्या, आई विल नॉट डू ऑल ऑफ दैट. सो they do work with which they love, and so they feel continually inspired and creative. They do not seek happiness. They have discovered that happiness is a byproduct of doing what they love. Such a beautiful line. खुशी तो मिलेगी ही जब आप लव के जोन में जा रहे हो. जिस वट एवर यू लविंग, अल्टीमेटली खुशी तो मिलेगी ही. अपने आप को ही देख लो. एक हॉलिडे पे गए हैं, अभी कोई आपकी वाइफ बोल रही है आपको कि नहीं ये एडवेंचर स्पॉट करना है अभी, बट आपको माना कि मुझे बुक पढ़नी है. एडवेंचर स्पॉट करे फॉर वाइफ्स हैप्पीनेस, बट अगर वो कुछ रीजन आता है कि शी हैज सम कंपनी एंड शी से ओके आई एम गोइंग विद दिस फ्रेंड फॉर एडवेंचर, व्हाई डोंट यू स्टे बैक एंड रीड योर बुक? When you're going to do something that you love, you will be so happy. Why? Because ultimately you are loving what you're doing. So happiness has to come. Come what may, it has to come. A feeling of personal fulfillment comes naturally from the positive contribution to the lives of others, including family, friends, groups, and the world at large. जब आप दूसरों के लिए अच्छा करोगे, आपको खुद भी एक अच्छा फीलिंग आने वाला है. And that is what is very, very, very important. At this point, let's all take a break. Let's take sun salutations and come back for the next chapter. It's a very beautiful book, and it's so amazing that it teaches us to keep going within, to keep seeing our thought process, to keep clearing our thoughts, and to keep clearing our feelings, and then whatever we want really, really comes true, because it's so beautiful. In my opinion, every book is great, but surrendering and letting go is the first most important thing to be a successful person. When we become too attached to our goals, it's a deterrent. वो नहीं पूरे होते because frustration आती कई बार, knowingly or unknowingly. Yeah, it's self-checking. All right, Rahul sir, let's bring on.
The Surya Namaskar with mantras. Om Mitraye Namaha. Om Ravaye Namaha. Om Suryaye Namaha. Om Bhanave Namaha. Om Khagaye Namaha. Om Pushne Namaha. Om Hiranyagarbhaye Namaha. Om Marichaye Namaha. Om Adityay Namaha. Om Savitre Namaha. Om Arkay Namaha. Om Bhaskaray Namaha. Salutations to the universal friend. Salutations to the resplendent sun. Salutations to the energy that induces activity within us. Salutations to the one who illumines. Salutations to the sun moving across the sky. Salutations to the giver of strength. Salutations to the golden cosmic self. Salutations to the Lord of the dawn. Salutations to the son of Aditi, the cosmic mother. Salutations to the benevolent mother. Salutations to the energy that we praise, and to the one who guides us to salvation. The sun salutation now with the names of the postures, both in Sanskrit and English. Pranamasan, Hastuthanasan, Padhahastasan, left leg back, Ashvasanchalanasan, Parvatasan, and hold this position, and now slowly progressing into the deeper version of Parvatasan, Adho Mukshvanasan. Ashtang Namaskar, Bhujangasan, Parvatasan, left forward Ashvasanchalanasan, Padahastasan, Hastuthanasan, Pranamasan. On the right side, prayer position, raised arms pose, hand to feet pose, Right leg back, equestrian pose. Mountain pose, hold mountain pose, and slowly moving into the deeper version of mountain, the downward facing dog. Salute with 8 limbs. Cobra. Press back to mountain. Right forward, equestrian pose. Hand to feet pose. Raised arms position. Prayer pose. One round of the sun salutation with awareness on the breathing. So exhaling our hands to the chest, pranam. Inhaling as we bend back. We exhale as we fold forward. Left leg back, inhale as we're arching back. Exhale into the forward. Hold the breath for knees, chest, chin. Inhale as we arch back. Exhale into the forward. Left leg forward, inhale. This is a back bend. Exhale whenever we bend forward. Inhale as we bend back. Exhale, hands to the chest. And on the right, deep breathing. Exhale. A deep inhale. A long exhale. Right leg back with an inhale. And exhale. Hold the breath. Inhale. And exhale. Right leg forward with a deep inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale.
Welcome back. Now, we're going to start the chapter number 20, read a part of it, a bit of it to understand. And one little thing for everyone, we are almost on the verge of finishing this beautiful journey. So I want all of you to start writing or seeing which book you've learned what. We will do an analysis for all the books in the end. And we will take your personal testimonials as to what helped you, kya rukawatein aa rahi, kya roadblocks aa rahi hain. Because transformation truly happens if we are ready to heal within, if we're ready to understand and if we're a seeker. So let's understand that. All right. Chapter 20, Physician and Heal Thyself. Very, very important to understand this. हमने इसके बारे में लुइस हे की बुक में बात करी थी, where we talk about self-healing. Power of subconscious mind में Dr. Joseph Murphy से बात करी थी कि it is in our mind, it is in ourselves, where we can heal ourselves at all possible levels. Let's understand this beautifully today. Let's start reading it. By popular request, the personal experiences of self-healing has been shared many a times at lectures, talks, and workshops. Everyone seems to want to hear the story over and over again of how a physician was healed of many diseases. Therefore, this chapter will relate the highlights of recovery and healing because they illustrate in detail just how the principles and techniques we have been talking about actually work at the pragmatic level. Lived experience and clinical observation confirm that the majority of human disorders are susceptible to being cured by following certain principles. Many diseases can be reversed unless there's a strong karmic dominance to the contrary. Paradoxically, those serious cases where all hope has been given up often respond promptly and give the best results. Jahan ekdam hi khatam ho gaya hai, that is what gives best results. How? Let's understand. This is perhaps because the person has finally let go and now speedily unreasonable. They're ready for what Thomas Kahn says, a paradigm shift. That is a willingness to see things differently from an expanded perspective and to be open-minded. Sometimes, plead this very carefully, sometimes it takes chronic sickness, suffering, pain, a sense of helplessness in this journey of self-healing. Sometimes confrontation with the fear of death before a person is willing to let go of cherished beliefs and opens up the truth of clinical reality. बीमारी होती तो हमने कुछ स्ट्रांगली पकड़ के रखा होता है, जब हम लेट गो करते हैं बीमारी भी लेट गो हो जाती है। लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड बेसिक प्रिंसिपल्स क्या हैं सेल्फ हीलिंग के, बहुत अमेजिंग है। स्टेप बाय स्टेप करते, लेट्स टेक आवर टाइम। This chapter details the healing and recovery from a multitude of physical illnesses in the life of a physician. We will delineate the basic principles that facilitated the process of health healing. In doing so, there will be a review of some of the material we have already covered, so as to bring it together into an integrated overall experience. We will start with the basic working concepts. A thought is a thing. It is energy and form. Get that very, very, very clearly. The mind, with its thoughts and feelings, controls the body. Therefore, to heal the body, thoughts and feelings need to be changed. Get this very clearly. हमारा जो mind है, दो parts है उसमें, conscious mind, subconscious mind. Subconscious mind is the energy form, is where everything is recorded. Now that subconscious mind is controlling our heartbeat, our pulse, our breathing. Now, feelings are what come in your heart. They go along with your thoughts and they come into actions. Now, if you need to heal your body, your thoughts and feelings need to be changed. For example, अगर मैं बोल रही हूँ, मुझे बहुत बीमारी लग रही है, I'm really feeling sick, I'm अच्छा नहीं लग रहा, मुझे अपनी feelings को बदलना पड़ेगा. I know मेरी body में दर्द हो रहा है, I know मुझे अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है, लेकिन मुझे change of heart करना पड़ेगा by thinking of something that makes me happy. Maybe seeing myself as healed, whole and complete. Maybe seeing myself with people who matter to me, who I love. When I change that, I am beginning the process of healing my body and thoughts and feelings. What is held in mind tends to express itself through the body. जो हमने यहाँ पर पकड़ लिया ना, वो manifest होगा ही होगा. कैसे होगा? आपकी बॉडी से कोई एक्शंस होंगे या बॉडी में कोई बीमारी आएगी या बॉडी कुछ कर देगी, होगा ही होगा. बॉडी आप नहीं हो, आप माइंड नहीं हो, आप सोल हो. आपके पास एक माइंड है जो सोल के साथ साथ आया है और एक स्मार्ट ब्रेन आया है जो हार्ट के साथ और बॉडी के साथ आया है. So total amalgamation is what is required. The body is not the real self. It is like a puppet controlled by the mind. And the mind is not the real self. It is ultimately the journey of the soul. Beliefs that are unconscious can manifest as illness, even though there is no memory of the underlying belief. For example, विजय जी बोलते हैं मेरी फैमिली में तो डायबिटीज रन कर रही है, अरे दादा की थी, परदादा की थी, फादर की थी, मेरे को तो होना ही होना है. ये उनका बिलीफ है. सो ये मैनिफेस्ट कर जाएगा. बट अगर उनका बिलीफ है, उन लोग की थी बिकॉज उनकी लाइफस्टाइल कितनी खराब थी, फैमिली में नहीं है. मैं तो एकदम परफेक्ट रहता हूँ बिकॉज आई लेट गो, मुझे बीमारी नहीं होती. That satya will come to him as an action. An illness tends to result from suppressed and repressed negative emotions, plus a thought that gives it a specific form. Consciously or unconsciously, one particular illness is chosen rather than another. Okay, let's understand this. कुछ भी बीमारी अगर आती है, वो सिर्फ इसलिए आती है because उस समय हमने उस इमोशन को दबाया था, छुपाया था या कॉम्प्रोमाइज किया था, एक्सप्रेस करने नहीं दिया था. हमने उस समय उसको दबा दिया था. अब वो गड़े मुर्दे जो हैं वो बाहर निकल के आएंगे ही आएंगे क्योंकि आपने उस समय फील नहीं किया. सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, जब जो फीलिंग्स आए उनको फील करने दें, रोकिए मत. मुझे ऐसा क्यों फील हो रहा है तो कोई बात नहीं, सोचते हैं ना क्यों हो रहा है, अपने आप से पूछते हैं ना क्यों हो रहा है. मेरा तो हाई सेल्फ है ही, मुझे बता ही देगा. सो मुझे इतना क्या प्रॉब्लम है. Thoughts are caused by suppressed and repressed feelings. अगर हमारी थॉट्स भी हैं वो suppressed and repressed feeling की वजह से आ रही हैं, उसकी वजह से वो मैनिफेस्ट करती हैं बीमारी की वजह से. सो फीलिंग्स की वजह से इमोशंस आते हैं, इमोशन की वजह से बीमारी आती है. कई बार थाउजेंड्स एंड मिलियंस ऑफ थॉट्स आते हैं जो एक्टिवेट होते हैं और जिनकी वजह से बीमारी आते हैं, और ये डीएक्टिवेट होते हैं जो बीमारी खत्म हो जाती है। सो ऐसे ही नहीं सोचो और बीमारी आ गई, टाइम लगता है। मैंने एग्जाम्पल दिया था, मैं दोबारा देती हूँ। मेरी बुआ ने 2007 में कहा था कि अरे माँ को ब्रेस्ट कैंसर था, बहुत चांसेस है कि मुझे भी हो जाए, किसी को फैमिली में नहीं था, और एंड 2020 में जाकर उनको ब्रेस्ट कैंसर हो गया। 13 साल लगे। एक थॉट का बीज उन्होंने अपने अंदर बोया था, उसको सींचा, बार बार बोल के हाँ ये तो हो सकता है, हाँ ये तो हो सकता है, हाँ ये तो हो सकता है, रिजेंटमेंट करी, होल्ड ऑन कर दिया। उनका स्पेसिफिक बिलीफ उनके लिए सत्य हो गया, बड़ी बुआ के नहीं हुआ, बाकी ब्रदर्स के नहीं हुआ। क्यों? क्योंकि उनका वो स्पेसिफिक बिलीफ उन्होंने अपने आप लाया था। Although a specific belief can be cancelled and energy to it can be refused, it is generally a waste of time to try to change the thinking itself. सोच को बदलना ज्यादा कठिन होता है, बिलीफ को बदलना ज्यादा कठिन होता है, इमोशन को बदलना ज्यादा आसान होता है। अभी मैं लो फील कर रही हूँ, मैं हाई फील कर सकती हूँ इमीडिएटली। एक चैनल पे आ रहा है रोना धोना, मार काट, मर्डर, एक में आ रहा है सास बहू ड्रामा, और एक में आ रहा है चार्ली चैपलिन या मिस्टर बीन। हाउ डू यू फील इन द एनर्जी? एनर्जी बदलना ज्यादा इजी है। बिलीफ को बदलने में तय, बहुत सारी तय होती हैं, उनको एक एक करके निकालना पड़ता है। यूजुअली प्रोफेशनल्स वर्क करते हैं इस पे। वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस। We surrender a feeling by allowing it to be there without condemning, without judging, without resisting it. अगर फीलिंग आ रही है, आप सरेंडर कैसे करोगे? पहले तो हम जज नहीं करेंगे अपने आप को, बिल्कुल भी नहीं, ना अपने आप को ना किसी को। हम डांटेंगे डपटेंगे नहीं, मुझे क्यों हो रहा है या मुझे फील नहीं करना है, नहीं। हम उसको देखेंगे, अलाउ करेंगे जो भी हमें फील हो रहा है, और फिर पूछेंगे कि ये क्यों हुआ। हुआ सर माथे पे, बट क्यों हुआ? ओके, कैन आई लेट इट गो? इसमें हम अपना विलिंगनेस दिखा रहे हैं कि फीलिंग आई है, मैंने फील करी है, लेकिन मैं इसको हटा सकता हूं बाय प्रश्न भाव कि मुझे क्यों फील हुआ। ओके ये हुआ, ओ ऑलराइट, अच्छा ऐसा हो, मैं इसको छोड़ सकता हूं? ये हमारा सेल्फ क्लीनिंग वर्क है। आज बॉडी में आपने बहुत सारा खाना डाला है, फुल ऑफ टॉक्सिन्स, प्रोसेस्ड फूड, ये वो, आज खाया कल निकल गया सब कुछ, सुबह क्लियर किया स्टमक, ऐसे होता है क्या? वो आपकी बॉडी में, आंतड़ियों में, इंटेस्टाइन्स में फंसा हुआ रहता है, चिपका हुआ रहता है। इट टेक्स टाइम टू डिटॉक्स दैट। सो इवन योर बिहेवियर, your feelings of letting go something will take time, but the good news is it will run out in due time if you're ready, if you're willing. A strong feeling may recur, which means there is more to it to be recognized and surrendered. Please understand, बीमारी आती है, दोबारा आएगी अगर आपने उसको नहीं पहचाना और नहीं लेट गो किया। For example, again I'm going to give the example, same बुआ, उनको 2020 में कैंसर आया, बिगिनिंग में कीमोथेरेपी भी नहीं हुई, फर्स्ट स्टेज में था, निकल गया, ऑल अनफिनिश। उनको मैंने बुक भी दी, यू कैन हील योरसेल्फ, उन्होंने ना पढ़ी, ना वीडियो देखा, ना नेटफ्लिक्स पे सीक्रेट्स देखा, नहीं, क्योंकि उनके अंदर वो फीलिंग थी, राइट? वापस 2021 की बिगिनिंग में फिर आ गया कैंसर। क्यों? क्योंकि उन्होंने सीखा ही नहीं, समझा ही नहीं, सरेंडर ही नहीं किया। तो अगर आपकी लाइफ में बीमारी या कोई फीलिंग्स या कोई पैटर्न दोबारा आ रहा है, उसको प्लीज ऑब्जर्व करें ध्यान से कि दोबारा आया है, कुछ सिखाने के लिए आया है मुझे, वो क्या है जो नहीं मैं सीख पाया। Now, in order to surrender a feeling, sometimes it is necessary to start by relinquishing the feeling that is there about the particular emotion. Example, guilt, that I shouldn't have this feeling. हम कौन होते हैं जो शुड और शुंड के चक्र में फंसे? हुआ भी किसने हमें इतना हमने अपने आप को इतनी सेल्फ इंपॉर्टेंस क्यों दे दी? मुझे ये नहीं होना चाहिए, मुझे ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए। उससे हम अपनी एनर्जी फ्लो में ब्लॉकेजेस डाल रहे हैं, अपने ब्लड फ्लो में ब्लॉकेजेस डाल रहे हैं, ब्लॉकेजेस डाल रहे हैं, तो बीमारी भी आएगी। जैसे कभी किसी ने जोर की पकड़ लिया और हमें नील हो गया, ब्रूज हो गया, वो क्यों हुआ? किसी ने जोर की पकड़ लिया था स्किन को, ब्लड फ्लो रुक गया, तो यहाँ नील आ गया। नील क्यों आया? किसी ने जोर से पकड़ लिया। अगर हम जोर से पकड़ के बैठे हैं कि नहीं मुझे तो ये नहीं फील होना चाहिए, तो तथास्तु वो ही फील होगा, बिकॉज यूनिवर्स पढ़ रहा है मुझे तो ये फील होना चाहिए। So I shouldn't have this feeling will become what? I should have the feeling. So please be careful. Feel what you're feeling, but analyze it. Don't judge it, analyze it. See it, observe it. In order to relinquish a feeling, sometimes it is necessary to acknowledge and let go of the underlying payoff of it. Example, the thrill of anger and the juice of sympathy from being a helpless victim. अरे यार हमको तो कोविड हो गया, हम क्या करें, हम तो इतना सेफ चल रहे थे, क्या करें, फिर हो गया, बहुत बॉडी में थकान आ रही है, ये हो रहा है, वो हो रहा है। हमें चीप थ्रिल्स मिलते हैं विक्टिम प्ले करने में, सिंपैथी लेने में मजा आता है। अरे इतना हाई एनर्जी रखा हुआ, देखो पता नहीं कैसे हो गया। तो हमें उस फीलिंग को भी छोड़ना है कि लोग क्या बोलेंगे, हमें लोगों पे डिपेंडेंट होना छोड़ना पड़ेगा। अल्टीमेटली वी हैड कम अलोन इन अ रियलिस्टिक वे एंड वी विल गो अलोन। ठीक है, उस पर्टिकुलर मोमेंट पे हजारों लाखों लोग का जन्म हो रहा होगा या जा रहे होंगे, लेकिन हम एक्सक्लूसिव हैं जो उसको उस समय फील कर रहे होंगे। तो इतना क्या कंपेनियनशिप, लेट्स बिकम होल एंड कंप्लीट। Feelings are not the real self, whereas feelings are programs that come and go. Feelings आएंगी जाएंगी। Real inner self क्या है? आपका higher self, आपकी आत्मा हमेशा रहती थी, रहती है, रहती रहेगी हमेशा। इसलिए अनिवार्य है, important है, therefore it is necessary to stop identifying transient feelings as yourselves. Transient है, transit में है, आएगी और जाएगी। आज लो फील कर रही हूँ, कल हाई फील करूंगी, इट्स ओके। मुझे जज करने की जरूरत नहीं है। ठीक है, ये हुआ, इससे मैं ट्रिगर ऑफ हो गई, ओके ये हुआ, ट्रिगर ऑफ हो गई, इसका मतलब उस इंसान को मैंने इतना तूल दिया है, ओके मुझे उससे इतना नहीं एक्सपेक्टेशन रखनी है, ऑल राइट, ओके सो ये रूट कॉज है, ओके सो एटलीस्ट मेरी इंटेंशन है कि मैं इससे एक्सपेक्ट नहीं करूँ, आई लेट गो ऑफ दिस फीलिंग। लेज में काम करना है अपने आप को। Ignore thoughts, they are merely endless rationalizations of inner feelings. जब हम मेडिटेट करते हैं हम क्या बोलते हैं? थॉट्स आ रही हैं, थॉट्स जा रही हैं, उसमें बहिए मत, आ रही हैं जा रही हैं, इट्स ओके, बट आप ब्रीदिंग पे ना कॉन्सेंट्रेट करिए, बिकॉज आपको थॉट्स को एक्सपैंड नहीं करना, अच्छी हैं बुरी हैं, आपको उस ट्रांस में नहीं जाना है। नो मैटर व्हाट इज गोइंग ऑन इन लाइफ, keep the steadfast intention to surrender negative feelings as they arise. लाइफ में कितना ही अच्छा है, कितना ही बुरा हो रहा है, अगर नेगेटिव फीलिंग्स आ रही हैं, हमें अपने आप के लिए इतना ऑब्जर्व करना है कि हम कॉन्शियस हो जाएं, अवेयर हो जाएं, अरे नेगेटिव फीलिंग आई, अच्छा में नेगेटिव फीलिंग कैसे आती है? सपोज आज मुझे जैकपॉट मिल गया, 1 करोड़ रुपया मिल गया, फॉर वट एवर रीजन, लॉटरी लग गई, वट एवर, अब मुझे आता है अरे पैसा चला गया तो, टैक्स में लोग ले लिए तो, और चोरी हो गया तो, लूज हो गया तो। अच्छे में भी बुरा आता है, या हिंदी में लोग बोलते नजर लग गई तो। हमारा सोचना ही एक थॉट को पकड़ लेना है, उस थॉट को हमें छोड़ना है, और बहुत मुश्किल नहीं है छोड़ना। कि मैं क्यों सोच रहा हूँ ये, ठीक है सोच आई तो आई, लेकिन क्यों जाएगा अगर मैं डिवाइनली गाइडेड हूं तो? बार बार अपने आप को बताना कि मैं डिवाइन बच्चा हूँ, डिवाइनली गाइडेड हूँ, रॉन्ग क्यों होगा? अब तो मैं यूनिफाइड की जर्नी में हूँ, अपने हायर सेल्फ से मिल चुका हूँ, मुझे हाँ ना का सिंबल मिल चुका है, अब मैं क्यों इतना सोच विचार कर रहा हूँ? नाउ व्हाई? ऑलराइट, ये मैंने आपको एक्स्ट्रा बताया अबाउट यूनिफाइड। व्हाई? जब आपको और मुझे अपने हायर सेल्फ से गाइडेंस मिल जाती है, हमें किसी और की क्यों जरूरत है? मेरे हायर सेल्फ ने मुझे ये लाइफ दी है, ये कंट्री, पेरेंट्स से सिचुएशन चूज करी है, मुझे बॉडी दी है, सेक्स दिया है, या मुझे फीलिंग्स दी हैं। अब मेरा क्या काम है? अपने हायर सेल्फ की सुनना, और दिमाग की हर से में नहीं सुनना, दिल की सुनना, दिल क्या बोल रहा है। यस मीनाक्षी, वी डोंट नीड वैलिडेशन फ्रॉम एनीवन एल्स। हमारे हायर सेल्फ ने बोल दिया, मेरे पेट में गुड़गुड़ होती है जब हाँ होता है, और मेरी राइट काफ में धड़कन फड़कन होती है जब ना होता है। ऑटोमेटिकली मुझे पता है कि मुझे चलना है कि मुझे नहीं चलना है। तो मुझे किसी और के पास जाने की क्यों जरूरत है? फिर मैं डाउट क्यों करूं कि यार ये ऐसे पेट खराब है इसलिए गुड़गुड़ हुई क्या, या मेरे पाँव में क्रैम्प आ गया इसलिए हुआ क्या? और मुझे हर समय अपने आप को प्रोटेक्ट करना है, अपने ऑरा को। ये भी मुझे ध्यान रखना चाहिए कि आई एम द ओनली वन हू कैन प्रोटेक्ट माय ओन ऑरा एंड आई कैन चूज टू लिव अ लाइफ which is meant for me. I can choose to surrender. I can make a decision that freedom is more desirable than having a negative feeling. मुझे free रहना है, negative feeling से भी, उसके चुंगल से भी free होना है, और मैं free हो सकती हूँ by understanding it. और मुझे choose करना है negative feeling को surrender करने में, express करने की जगह। Negative feeling आया और मुझे मन कर रहा है मैं बड़ करके बोल जाऊं तुम्हारे सामने, react कर दूं। मुझे सोचना है, विचारना है, रिस्पॉन्ड करना है और उनको लेट गो करना है। ये नहीं कि मन की भड़ास निकाल के पूरा अपना मन खाली कर लिया। मन की भड़ास से क्वेश्चन करना है, मुझे भड़ास क्यों आ रही है? ओह, इसलिए आ रही है। तो क्या मैं इस अटैचमेंट को छोड़ सकता हूँ? दैट्स इट। So simple, right? All right. Tomorrow we'll talk about the other points. They're very beautiful. Please work on them because they're very, 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 very important. And ये हमारी लाइफ का एक बेस बनेगा, एक फाउंडेशन बनेगी, वहां जहां हम एक बेटर लाइफ में लिव कर सकते हैं। मैंने सब बताया, इन माय ओपिनियन दिस बुक इज द मोस्ट मैजिकल बुक एवर। वो जो हम सीखते हैं क्रिएटिव विजुअलाइजेशन या ड्रीम्स को ट्रू करना, इट्स दे वेरी 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 पावरफुल। पर अगर हमने उनसे ज्यादा अटैचमेंट ले ली तो हम अपने उस प्रोसेस में स्लो हो जाएंगे। तो इसलिए लेट गो करना इज वेरी 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 इंपॉर्टेंट। At this juncture, let me request Akshay to come and read this book by Tom Rodkins about being who we should be and being very radical every single day in our life. Let's understand from this chapter so that all of us can go in the next level and we can just go on further. Yes, please.
Be an everyday radical. Medical intern Barry Marshall's colleagues watched in horror. He had taken some bacteria from the gut of a patient seriously ill with a stomach ulcer and poured the murky brown soup into a glass. Then he drank it. The potion contained a million Helicobacter pylori bacteria and tasted like swamp water. A few days later, Marshall started suffering from nausea and vomiting. Endoscopy proved that his stomach had gone from being pink and healthy to red and massively inflamed, the early stages of a stomach ulcer. In 1984, there was no cure. But Marshall took antibiotics and miraculously healed himself. He had proved that stomach ulcers were caused by bacteria, reversing decades of medical doctrine that they were caused by stress and too much acid. The significance was enormous. If ulcers were caused by bacteria, they could be cured. It was one of the great breakthroughs in medical history, saved millions of lives, and won Marshall a Nobel Prize. Marshall had taken two safely precautions. He did inform the hospital ethics committee because they were certain to refuse permission. Committees and creativity don't mix. He didn't tell his wife because spouses are always overcautious on each other's behalf. She guessed within a few days anyway, when he began vomiting and his breath smelled putrid. Marshall was driven to do it because, although he had already proved their case through studies of their patients, mainstream doctors were dismissive. They clung to the established dogma that ulcers, which at the time affected 10% of all adults, were caused by stress. Marshall had to watch in horror as ulcer patients had their stomachs removed or bled until they died. The innate snobbery of the medical profession meant that innovation had to come from the established research medical centers, not the Australian outback. Marshall was a 33-year-old intern, not even a proper doctor. A researcher who attended one of his presentations commented, he simply didn't have the demeanor of a scientist. Marshall had also pitched himself against pharmaceutical companies that had invested millions in products that alleviated the symptoms without curing them. The new theory would throw all that profit out of the window. Marshall said, everyone was against me, but I knew I was right. Marshall was unable to prove his case in experiments on animals because Helicobacter pylori only affect primates. Banned from experimenting on people, Marshall was desperate, so he experimented on the only volunteer around, that is, himself. To act radically in the face of elite hierarchies and accepted practices is creative. It was essential for Beethoven as an artist to fight against the status quo. He battled against the standardization of musical forms by reinventing the structure and scope of symphonies, string quartets, concertos, and sonatas. At that time, composers were paid servants, but Beethoven changed that. He demanded and received high fee. He was the first musician to dine with his patrons rather than the servants. And it didn't stop him being an sociable and augmentative dinner guest. CEOs used to take over a company and steady the ship. Now they upset the status quo, set up a new team, and bring in new ideas. If you want to transform things, you need to be in a radical frame of mind.
If you want to transform things, you need to be in a radical frame of mind. कुछ अगर बदलाव लाना है तो आपके अंदर से बदलाव आएगा. You have to be tuned into that beautiful frame of mind. And stress and all of this is going to cause so much of problems. Like you've seen ulcers. So what जो acid होता है body में, all this, it's because of stress. We have to let go of stress. Chuck Planhoink says, any behavior that is not in the status quo is interpreted as insanity, when in fact it might always be enlightenment. Insanity is sort of in the eye of the beholder. Whether you're insane or whether you're the radical thinker, whether you're the enlightened or whether you're insane, depends completely upon what you are thinking. What breakthroughs are you happening or what are you working towards? Aapki mansha kya hai? Aapka sankalp kya hai? Aapki intention kya hai? We can heal ourselves at every single point of time. Mental, physical, emotional, intellectual, spiritual. We need to be ready, to willing to heal. That's the entire thing. So thank you, Rahul sir. And thank you so much, Akshay, for reading for all of us. Very important for all of us to realize that we are in this juncture where we're almost going to be living our life the way we're supposed to be, independent. Today's heart thought is again about us being in the perfect space at the perfect time. It's about work environment. And it says, I have the perfect space. So for perfect space, let's meditate and let's intertwine this with a couple of more beautiful things. All right, everyone. Akshay can record for everyone, whoever wishes. Okay. Let's check our postures. Our back straight. Our feet firmly placed on ground below. A smile on our face. Eyes lightly closed. Take a deep breath in and out. In and out. In and out. Life has a perfect space. Life is so beautiful. It's so orderly and it's ever flowing. Everything in our lives is a mirror of us. When something is happening out there that is not comfortable, we have to look inside and say, how am I creating it? What is it that within me that believes I deserve this experience? By now, we're very familiar that every single thing that happens in our life is because of our thoughts, our feelings, conscious or subconscious. And whatever happens is important, it's meant to be. because we are in the perfect space and we have the perfect space. I see myself filled with gratitude and thanksgiving as I walk through this facility. I see the perfect space and equipment for mailing and shipping. The business office is laid out perfectly. I see my life having the perfect space, the perfect structure for my evolution. All the equipment required or needed is in its place. The staff is a group of harmonious, dedicated people. The offices are beautiful. In my journey in life, everyone is there at the right time, at the right place. They are in harmony and helping me take my life to the next level. I rejoice in the work being done to aid in my soul growth and the healing and harmonizing of my world and our world. I am magical. My life is magical. I see open, receptive souls drawn to the activities that happen around me, drawn to me, helping me in my soul journey, because I have the perfect space. I am thankful for the ever-flowing abundant supply to support my mission of growing in life, my mission of reaching where I had to. I realize I do have the perfect space because it's meant to be. And when I believe in this, life magically becomes better and better and better because I am a believer in all the good things, a believer in blessings, a believer in life being absolutely magical. I love myself in full totality. And whenever feelings of lesser love, lack of love come, I allow them to flow. And yet I question myself later to analyze, not to judge. Working on my whole soul development as a person, as a soul. Because I realize that life is a blessing and every opportunity is coming to me to bless me, to empower me, to make me in the best version of myself. When I am in this journey, my life is magical. When I am in this journey of evolution, everything is becoming beautiful. I'm a believer in life unfolding. I'm a believer in myself. I'm a believer in whatever happens for the best. I'm a believer I'm in the right place at the right time. Because this is my soul journey that I am supposed to become better, better, and better in. With this feeling of gratitude, I surrender myself for a higher purpose, knowing everything unfolds in this right, truly characteristic way. And I'm a mere channel who can correct myself by going inwards. I'm making my life more richer, meaningful, and purposeful. This is who I am, and this is who I'll be. A person always believing in the best things for the best reason. I'm a believer, and so it is. Let's bow our heads in gratitude towards Mother Earth, thank her for all the virtues she keeps energizing us, enriching us with. Let's thank our life for all the experiences, for all the lessons, for helping us become a teacher, a seeker, a follower, a leader, and all that we've done throughout. Let's thank the Almighty, the universe, for blessing us with the magical best, with always energizing us, empowering us, enlightening us, enriching us. To all the angels for always overseeing us, to the guardians for always ensuring we are protected, to all the teachers for teaching us beautifully, and to our soul, which is staying within us, for always being there, guiding us. Let's fold our hands. And this time today, in this beautiful morning, on this thankful Thursday, let's be grateful to our soul. Firstly, we have now met the soul, which is so beautiful. We now believe in it. So beautiful. We are intertwined. So amazing. We are guided. How wonderful. We are blessed. How amazing. And then let's thank our beautiful body for working in full synchronicity, to all the organs for working in the best they can despite the abuse we abuse, to order bodily functions, to all parts of our being, emotional, physical, spiritual, intellectual. We are thankful for the complete evolution we are facing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's bless each other with lots of love, with lots of light, with lots of feelings of growth and abundance. Pratima ji, Vijay ji, Akshay, Manisha, Anita, Arvind ji, Usha ji, Richa, Minakshi, Peena ji, Surendra ji, Rahul sir, Amrita ma'am, and everyone, whoever will listen to the session and the meditation. Lots of love, lots of light. Be blessed, my loved ones. Will you want to share something, or shall we meet tomorrow at 5 a.m.? And again, a reminder, let's go within to understand what have we learned from these beautiful books. We will do a quick check in a couple of days where we have been, how this journey has evolved and helped us evolve. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Lots of love. Akshay, for you, the meditation will be perfect space. Thank you. Lots of love, everyone.